Hey, what's going on, Cove Students? It's
What?
Nigel here, and we have
Lizzie, what's
and I just
up?
want to call attention before we even get started. We are twinning and like freaking killing it.
Had to flex on y'all
Killing
today.
it. Like, just had to get that out of the way.
Yeah, like your fit.
Thank you. I like your fit too.
Oh,
You
thank
look
you.
totes cute.
Totes.
Anyways, we're so glad that you're here with us tonight. If it is your first time, we want to celebrate that. That's really awesome. So if you're watching on YouTube, we want you to click the link in the chat because we want to get a little bit more information about
do.
you. And what else we got going on today?
Well, what else we got going on today is first we have an awesome message, which I'm really excited for.
we do.
We're talking
Yes, we
about the
do.
things of dating and, you know, all that stuff. But first, I have a question
Oh,
for you,
yes.
Nigel.
I'm nervous. I'm already nervous. What is it?
Who is your first crush?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so wait. Are we going like real life or cartoons? Are we
Let's
doing
start with
both?
our whoever was first.
Okay. If we're talking, I'm about to expose myself right now. This is gonna be so weird. If we're talking cartoons, then remember the show called Kim Possible?
Oh my gosh, yes!
But it's not what you think, though. It's not what you think. I didn't have a crush on Kim
Is it
Possible.
the rat?
No, Rufus. No. I actually had a huge crush on Shigo.
Shigo?
Yeah. Not Kim Possible. Shigo. Shigo was my
All right,
was my
I
favorite.
can respect that. Not
Yeah.
the main girl. I like
don't
that.
know. It was something about I don't know. I like green. I guess I don't know.
My first one was Li Shang from Mulan. That man is perfect.
That makes total
To this
sense.
day, I still think
I
he's
respect
amazing.
it. I respect it.
See?
I respect
Man's
it.
man.
That's a solid
perfect.
one. Okay, so if we're talking about real life, definitely Miranda Cosgrove
Oh,
for sure.
you're talking like a
sure.
celebrity. That was your first crush?
Yeah. Yes, she was like my first legit like, oh my gosh, if I ever get the chance to marry her, I will. And I wanted to be on iCarly. Not even in the show. I just wanted to be on the set of iCarly. Just so I could
Just be with Miranda
look at her.
Cosgrove.
That's
Wow.
it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so
That's amazing.
What about
Oh, mine, was like, not a celebrity. I was in first grade, and his name was Nathan Liz, and because his last
Oh.
name was my first name, I was in love with him.
Oh wait, so this was like an actual person that you went
Yes.
to school with? Oh.
Yes.
I thought we were talking like celebrity. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yep.
I don't know you meant like actual. All right.
He had long brown hair.
Okay.
Yeah, he was perfect. Shout
All
out
right.
Nathan Liz.
I-
Don't know where you're at in life now, but
Yeah, Nathan.
still got love for you,
hey,
bro.
you know.
Mad love.
If you didn't know, now you know. Well, we're so glad you guys are here, and now we're gonna go ahead and get into the rest of our service. So go ahead and
Just get yourself ready. Let's
yeah.
go.
You've prepared a place. There's a table you've prepared for me in the presence of my enemies. It's your body and your blood is shed for me. This is how I fight my battles. This is how. This table you prepared for me in the presence of my enemies. Oh, it's your body and your blood is shed for me, and this is how I fight my battles. And I believe you've overcome it. I will lift my song of praise for all you've done. And this is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. Well, this is how and this is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. Well, this is how. In the valley, I know that you're with me. But surely your goodness and your mercy follow me. Oh. So my weapons are praise and thanksgiving, and this is how I fight my battle. I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. And this is how I fight my battles. 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 This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how it may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. 'Cause this is how I fight my battle. Well, this is how I fight my battle. Oh, this is how I fight my battle. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you.
Well, hey, Cove students, my name is Vanessa, and I don't have a partner to introduce because I'm the single person on the panel. But today we are talking about dating.
I'm Josh, and this is my fiance, Ashley. We have been dating for over a year and a half now.
Hey there, so my name is Tim, and this is my wonderful, lovely wife, Alyssa.
Hi.
We've been married for almost 4 years now, and today we're talking about dating.
So I obviously haven't met that person yet. However, I can paint the picture of how it's going to exactly happen. It's a Saturday morning. Roll out of bed, take a shower, get ready. Not too cute, comfortable clothes because we're going to a coffee shop. Amazing guy, probably the most attractive guy you will ever see walk through Davidson. He also orders a vanilla latte. He's Then we take pictures on Instagram, post our wedding, everyone loves us, sign up for our registry on Amazon and/or Target, and it's happily ever after. So that's our love story.
Our first date was probably your typical first date, right? It was me, this woman that I met at the gym that I just could not wait to spend some time with, and a guy named Brian. So just your typical first date, right? Well, it actually started right here in this building. We went to a Saturday night church service. So we had a group of friends that normally got together on Saturday, and I decided what a better way than for her to meet some of my friends, be in a fun atmosphere. And then afterwards, we had a group of people that tended to go to dinner. So I asked who was in, and we had a decent sized group. Well, then on our way there, people started backing out, and I started getting some messages that they weren't coming. The last person to back out was a really good friend of mine, but it was a certain redheaded, ginger-bearded cameraman that some of you guys, we're not going to say names, is around here, and he backed out last minute. So I'm doing the math in my head, and I said, oh no, we don't have a group anymore. Well, we show up to dinner, and we're kind of waiting around, seeing who's gonna come. No one else came. So it was just me and Ashley, and I said, this is gonna be great. So we get a table for two, we sit down, order some appetizers. About 20 minutes or so, into the date, I look up and I see Brian. Now, not a complete stranger. I met him a week or so before, and he's walking towards the table, and I'm thinking, this is gonna be fun. So he walks up and he goes, "Is this the Cove Church group that's having dinner after service?" And I looked at Ashley, and I looked at Brian, and at Ashley and Brian, and I said, "Yes, it is." And of course, he comes to the table and takes a seat right down next to Ashley. So, I'm asking her, I'm like, "So where are you from?" And Brian jumps right in. He goes, "Oh, well, I'm from," and he just starts telling me, all about himself. I learned a lot about Ashley on our first date, and I also learned a lot about Brian.
I knew Alyssa's sister, Abby, and I was friends with her and Abby's boyfriend. We were all in a life group together. And one night, Alyssa came along with them. And I'll never forget, Alyssa walks into the room and she's just got this miserable frown on her face, like so sad. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, that has to be because she doesn't know me yet, right? I'm about to change this. So I walk up to her, I'm like radiating confidence, and no lie, I have a verse pulled up on my phone. It talked about like being joyful or something. And I go up to her, do not even introduce myself. And I just jump right in and I say, "Hey, this verse right here, it talks about being joyful. So why don't you like cheer up or something?" And I'm expecting to get like a laugh or like she's gonna flirt with me or just kind of play along. That is not what happened at all. Instead, she gives me a blank look due to face. That's the face I got. And says, "Okay," and then quickly walks away. Just like total rejection. Do you remember this day?
Yes, I remember this well because I was actually dating somebody else at the time, and me and him got into a fight like we pretty much always did. And so I was in a really bad mood going to that life group get together that night, and then to have some random guy come up to me with a Bible verse and tell me to cheer up and be more joyful, I was just really annoyed and was like, man, this guy is bossy and arrogant, and who is he to tell me how to feel? And plus, my middle name is Joy, and I don't really exemplify that well all the time, so it's kind of triggering for me.
Call it bossy, call it arrogant. I say it worked.
I do have a ring on my finger.
How about that?
What are the hazards of dating? Now, a big one for me is compromising your values. So for me specifically, it's easy when I'm talking to someone or getting to know them, I can easily make excuses for this person. So if we're being honest, all of us can find ourselves in a spot of, I guess I can invite them to church, maybe they'll come with me, or if I talk to them about God, maybe they'll get it and they'll want to be saved. Me and my best friend always make this joke called missionary dating, where you date someone who's not really a Christian in the hopes that they become a Christian. So I know for a lot of you, the pool's kind of small when it comes to good, godly Christian men or women, and it's easy for us to compromise. Even if you haven't dated before, or if you really want to be with someone, it's easy to take little things or big things and make them, oh, it's not a big deal, it's fine, I can deal with that, but you really can't. When you're gonna think about dating or talking to someone, don't necessarily ask, okay, are they cute? Do they have a lot of money? Are they 6 feet tall? Now, those aren't bad things, but really focus on your actual values. Is this person a Jesus follower? Are they kind? Are they generous? Focus on the core values that you can't negotiate on. Scripture tells us in 2 Corinthians 6, verse 14, don't team up with those who are unbelievers. How can righteousness be a partner with wickedness? How can light live with darkness? Guys, when choosing a partner to date, make sure you're not teaming up with someone who makes you not as good or takes you away from your values, but teaming up with someone who makes you better, who leads you to Christ, who helps you make those better decisions. So make sure when dating, you're not compromising on your values and dating someone that might not be on your level.
So there are 3 things that should remain in your life when you start a relationship, and those are your friends, your family, and God. They're going to be your support system, and if the relationship doesn't work out, they're going to be there for you in the end. we all know someone who has either done this or we've done it ourselves, but we've known someone who will eliminate either one, two, or all of them. And that is very unhealthy. You are going to need that support system. And if in your relationship that other person is telling you that you should remove them, that is a big red flag, and you probably should not be in that relationship.
That's definitely good, yeah. I think we all know somebody that as soon as they get a boyfriend or a girlfriend, they just fall off the face of the earth. So I think that's really relatable to a lot of people to not isolate yourself like that. So when I think about what makes dating dangerous, I would say that if you are expecting the other person to fill a void in your life, that's a really dangerous way to start a relationship here. And what I mean there is if you're thinking, if I just had a girlfriend, then I'd have more friends. Or if I just had a boyfriend, then maybe I'd be cooler. Or if you're lonely or insecure and you're thinking that this other person is gonna fix that, right? They're gonna fill that void. Well, that's a void that only God can fill. And that's just putting such high expectations on a relationship. So if you are looking to that other person to fill some sort of void in your life, it's a really dangerous way to start off a relationship.
One of the biggest hazards of dating that I have seen in my previous dating experiences, as well as what I see currently in the dating experiences of my friends, is that it is so easy to get your self-worth tied up in how that other person is treating you and how they make you feel. And we also just depend on that to make us feel good enough. And that's completely not a good idea. That's very dangerous to do. So a lot of you think that you're going to get into a relationship and they're just going to tell you that you're beautiful every single day, and then you're going to feel great about yourself. And that might be true for a while, but chances are there's going to be that day where they don't text you that you're beautiful. And then you're like, do they even like me anymore? Are they gonna break up with me? Am I still good enough? And you don't even feel good about yourself that day because that person kind of let you down. Or maybe it's a week and they haven't said anything to you and you're just really questioning your self-worth. That's really, really toxic. And then especially if you are not in a dating relationship yet, but you are on dating apps, or you're on social media and you are so dependent on those 400 likes from other people, complete strangers that don't know your heart, to tell you that you look pretty, that's just sad. And that's a really good sign that you do not need to be in a dating relationship, because you are too focused on getting the approval of other people and you're not getting your approval from God, which is the only place that we should be getting our approval from. I tell people this all the time, that you are not 50% of a person walking around looking for your other half. That's just not how it works. Nobody else is meant to complete you or to make up that other 50% of your happiness. No, you need to be completely getting your self-worth from God, because His love is constant, it's faithful, and it's perfect. Nobody else's love is like that.
Yeah, and I think for guys, we have a similar thing with this too, because the world, it puts this idea out there, this image of what a man is. And a man is someone who's really smooth with the ladies, and so we get this idea and this habit where we try to define ourselves by what's happening in our dating life. And that's really tricky and dangerous, because our dating life fluctuates. It's like every other aspect of life. Sometimes it can be great. Other times it's not so great. Right? Maybe for you, it's non-existent right now because it's just not happening. You've never dated. Hey, that's okay. I think for us, one of the best things we ever did in our dating life is we acknowledged early on that, hey, we can't be each other's happiness. That as much as we love and care about each other and just we're very much committed for the long haul. We were serious as we were dating. But we knew, hey, I can't count on you to make me happy. You can't count on me to be your joy. Because we're human and we make mistakes and we argue and we get into fights and sometimes we just don't agree. And that's okay. That's part of just human life. And so I would just say, like, it is so important that we have the right mindset when it comes to dating, because when we try to define ourselves by it, that's when we get into temptation. That's when we get into compromise. That's where we get into making these decisions that we ultimately regret because we put too much emphasis on, I got to get dating right. That's where my happiness is. So definitely something to be on guard for sure.
What does healthy dating look like? Number one, put God in the center. Pray for this person, pray for wisdom. When you're dating them, pray that God continues to guide you and help you make the right decisions. And honestly, guys, just pray for him to teach you how to honor him through the process. But number one, make sure whenever you're dating someone, a potential thinking about dating, put God in the center of it.
I think you need to take the time to see if it's a relationship that you're going to want to actually pursue. And to do this, you're actually going to have to go on dates where you're going to talk to one another, which I know is difficult, but you're going to have to. But this will save you a lot of trouble in the end. A lot of them may not work out, and that's okay. But you'll find out on the front end rather than 5 months into the relationship.
Have you ever dated somebody, or at least know somebody that's been in a relationship for a few weeks, maybe even a few months, and they don't know much about the person? I'm like, oh, do they have any brothers and sisters? Or where are they originally from? And they're like, oh, well, we haven't gotten there yet. I'm like, well, it's been, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks? But what have you talked about? A healthy relationship is one that has God at the center of it. What's important to you should be equally important to the other person. Ashley should want to participate in the things that I really care about. So if going to Cove Students is really important to me, and my relationship with God and my life group and serving, if those are important to me, they should also be important to your boyfriend or your girlfriend, because they should want to participate in those things because you care about them. If they're pulling you away from them and they're saying it's all about me and don't go to students, don't go to church, let's go do something else, and taking the focus off of God, then that's maybe take a step back and see if that's a relationship for you. But I think healthy dating would be one that has God at the center of it.
You don't get closer to your significant other and farther away from Jesus. No, a healthy relationship causes your relationship with Jesus to grow stronger and more important and more prioritized, not less. So just keep that in mind, especially when you're dating somebody else, because you want them to grow closer to Jesus as well. So it's also just a really good roadmap for yourself and how you want to be as somebody who's loving somebody else. Are you trying to put all of the attention on you, or are you trying to help them to get closer to Jesus? So that's a really good way to test and see is if your relationship's healthy, is if you're both growing in your relationship with the Lord.
When you're dating, I'm sure you're probably going to hear this multiple times, but you need accountability. One of the things me and Liz have set up is she does check-ins with me. If I go out on a date with someone or I'm talking to someone, she asks me, hey, how are your boundaries? How do you feel about it? Are you making the right decisions? And at first it was really annoying, I won't lie, because she really would just keep asking me, but I know that I needed that in my life. So make sure you set up accountability either with a good friend, a leader, a mentor, but somebody who holds the same values as you, who will help you make the right decisions when you're dating.
That you gotta have boundaries in place way before you ever think about getting into a relationship. Because I know we see it so often that a lot of times you just don't think about that until you're dating someone. And then it's kind of like, oh man, it kind of feels too late to establish new boundaries in an already ongoing relationship. It's not too late, but it's just really challenging to do. I remember for us, again, Alyssa, and this is something we talked about very early on, is we met up at Starbucks. You remember this?
Yes.
And we had the boundaries talk, and we were there, it felt like for hours, just talking about everything that comes with this. And was it a little awkward? I mean, I think it was. I imagine maybe it was for you too. But it was such a good conversation because we came out of that and we knew exactly where each other stood. We knew how to respect each other in this relationship. and we knew we were on the same page as far as what was appropriate, what was not appropriate, what we saw as healthy.
Before you even think about dating someone, set those boundaries, make a list of what you do and don't want to do, and make sure that they're God honoring. And when you are dating someone, have that honest, open conversation that this is where you draw the line, this is what you are and aren't comfortable with. Because if you wait too long, you're gonna flirt and dance and come up to the line and you're gonna cross the line. So make sure that you set healthy boundaries ahead of time.
Now, like, the question is, well, what should those look like? What are good boundaries? And that's something that you can't just copy paste. You got to determine that for yourself to get your specific ones in place. But there are a couple of ones we see in Scripture that are non-negotiable. I'm going to give you just one, though. One that I would highly encourage you is a must, and that is to protect your purity. That when we talk about that, our mind immediately goes to, okay, that means no sex until marriage. Save all the sexual stuff for marriage. And that's absolutely true. God's very clear on that. That's his best for you. That's his best for the other person. Society tries to tell us that's not attainable anymore. It's not realistic. That's a lie. It is doable. Along with that, though, this also means, as we aim to protect our purity, this means that we stay away from anything that's going to create a lustful thought or create a lustful action. You know, an example of how this may play out is kissing. Most people would say that kissing's totally okay in a dating relationship. And I don't think we disagree with that necessarily. But for you, if you're watching this right now and kissing takes your mind to a lustful place, then you should probably hold off on it for now. You can fill in the blank with this. Anything in a dating relationship as to, hey, should I be doing this? Well, if it takes your mind to an unsafe and unhealthy place, then that should be a boundary for you. And so that can help you get those in place. You cannot have a healthy dating relationship with someone who does not respect your boundaries, with someone who is going to continue to push you to bend them or to break them. If you find yourself in this spot right now, you really need to have a conversation with this person and really get on the same page with them. And if they're not willing to change or to respect your boundaries, or maybe they tell you they do, but their actions continue to push you to bend them, you really do need to look at removing yourself from that relationship because it's just not healthy.
I would say that healthy relationships are just not going to happen on accident. You're not just going to wake up one day and be like, man, this is just such a great, healthy relationship. And we didn't even talk about it. We didn't plan for it. It just happened. No, that's not the way that works. You're going to have to be intentional about what kind of relationship that you think God wants you to have. If you want a healthy relationship with a godly guy, somebody who respects you, who is thoughtful and just sweet and kind and caring, all of those things that especially I think us ladies like want out of a dating relationship, you have to be intentional about having those conversations up front, to being willing to stand strong with what you think a healthy relationship should look like. And also, where are you looking for those healthy relationships? If you are looking on Tinder for this great godly Christian guy, chances are you're probably not going to find him there, because that's not really what all of those dating apps are focused on. It's really important to be intentional about where you're looking for those godly relationships, because otherwise you're really wasting your time and you're wasting your energy, and you're always disappointed because your expectations of what that relationship should be, they're constantly being sabotaged by somebody that you probably shouldn't have been with in the first place.
Hey, we just heard a lot of different perspectives when it comes to dating, and I know it's a lot to process, so make sure that you continue to think and pray through what it looks like for you to healthily date. Talk to your parents about it. Share this video with a friend. Comment, let us know what you want to hear about next, and thank you so much for tuning in.